words, uttered softly by Jungkook, the maknae of BTS, instantly shook the emotions of millions of fans worldwide. One sentence, yet enough to silence the K-pop world. Amidst a glittering career, global fame, and immense public pressure, who would have thought that behind the international star lurked a love so long concealed and finally acknowledged, without naming names, yet profound enough to touch anyone's heart? The confession surfaced in an exclusive interview aired on a leading streaming platform. Jungkook, sitting relaxed in a black hoodie with slightly puffy eyes, initially discussed his career and daily life. But the mood shifted when he was asked, "What's the one thing you regret most?" A long pause ensued. He looked down, fiddling with a small ring on his pinky finger, then replied, "That I was never brave enough to tell them how I felt." The interviewer was momentarily silent, and in that instant, millions of viewers were glued to their screens. On screen, Jungkook appeared to hold his breath, then continued, "They were always there in my life, but I know our lives are too different." No names were needed, no lengthy explanations. Those words were like a poem dissolving into tears. Emotions carefully concealed for years finally exploded, and the public witnessed it firsthand. Fans who saw this moment immediately flooded social media. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were filled with snippets of the interview, translations, and speculation. Hashtags like hashtag Jungkook Love Confession, hashtag You Will Always Have Us JK, and hashtag Sintamagnae instantly became global trending topics within minutes. Comments poured in from all over the world, not only expressing shock and emotion, but also incredibly sincere support. Even idols can get hurt. "Thank you, Jungkook, for showing that you're human too," wrote an army from Turkey. "We know you're protecting your heart, but you're not alone," commented a fan from Argentina. Fans' reactions were not only emotional, but also full of empathy. It was as if the whole world agreed that this confession was a form of courage that deserved to be honored, not regretted. The K-pop world has long been known for its strictness regarding love affairs. Idols like Jungkook are expected to maintain their image, focus on their careers, and stay away from personal relationships that could disrupt the public's fantasies. But the reality he revealed forced the public to look at the other side of a global star, the human side. A young man who loved in silence, endured longing in his songs, and chose silence to maintain peace for all involved. His confession didn't stop there. Jungkook revealed that these feelings didn't come suddenly. They developed slowly, from a friendship, from intense collaboration, from shared moments that grew into feelings. "I've written many songs about them," Jungkook confessed, "but I never expected people to realize it." Fans began to piece together the mysterious fragments they had found in his lyrics and performances. Songs like "Still With You" and "My Time Were Now Red" with a different meaning. "I Want to Hold Your Hand and Go to the Other Side of the Earth" was one lyric that went viral again. These words are now considered a veiled message of love that only those who delve into the emotional meaning of Jungkook's songs can understand. Speculation arose. Who was the person he was referring to? Some mentioned Lisa from Blackpink, considering their closeness often captured on camera, and the long-standing rumors that have never been refuted. But many also suspected that this person was not a public figure, but someone from his past. Someone who had been part of Jungkook's life before he became part of BTS history. But whoever and whatever this person was, the most important thing now is not their identity, but Jungkook's courage to finally speak up. The interview became a turning point. Although Big Hit Music, the agency, has not yet issued an official statement, some BTS members seem to show symbolic support. RM uploaded a photo of the night sky with the caption, "Sometimes the best thing is to let go in silence." Meanwhile, Jin, who recently completed his mandatory military service, simply wrote, "Young is here for you," on Weverse. Without many words, their message was strong enough to show solidarity and emotional support. But Jungkook's confession wasn't just a strategy or a media maneuver. It was a genuine form of honesty, an expression from someone He said softly but firmly, "For fans, this confession is a reminder that love doesn't always have to end happily in front of the camera. Sometimes love just needs to be expressed, even if it's not reciprocated. And perhaps the greatest love is the one that remains alive in the heart, even if it's never truly possessed." Jungkook has shown that love doesn't have to be perfect to be sincere. Now, the world knows that Jungkook once loved, and perhaps still loves, someone whose name was never mentioned. That he, behind all his achievements and fame, is a man who feels pain, longing, and love in silence. And more than that he dared to admit it. The fans' tears that erupted were not because of a scandal, nor because of disappointment, but because finally, that voice of the heart was heard. Unspoken love has now become part of the world's story. A love that is silent, yet real, invisible but felt, and that, perhaps, is the purest form of love. However, amidst the sea of tears and the flood of support from fans, one question arises that cannot be ignored. Is all of this truly real? Or is it just part of a narrative designed to evoke public emotions and attract media attention? We cannot ignore the fact that the entertainment industry, especially Kpop, has a long history of utilizing rumors, emotional confessions, and celebrities' intimate moments to maintain their existence amidst fierce competition. So, how far can we trust Jungkook's love confession as the whole truth, and not a planned communication strategy? Are the sad expressions, trembling voice, and soft words in the interview completely honest? Or is there a behind-the-scenes scenario deliberately constructed? These are the questions that should arise in our minds as information consumers. What is the motive behind this confession? Why now? Why when BTS is in a transitional phase, when some members are still serving in the military, and when Jungkook has just finished his solo promotions? Is there a correlation between this moment and the need to maintain public attention? If we trace the viral trail of this information, most of it originates from social media platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Snippets of the interview, analysis from fan bases, and even conspiracy theories from Reddit threads become the main ingredients in shaping public opinion. But how reliable are these sources? Are the circulating video clips the full context? Or have they been cut in a way to create a dramatic effect? Furthermore, we need to ask, what are the consequences if this information turns out to be not entirely true? What if it's just a hoax wrapped in an emotional narrative to evoke sympathy and strengthen fan loyalty? Are we, as an audience, willing to let ourselves be swept away by the narrative without questioning the truth behind it? In an era where content can be engineered so meticulously and public emotions can be manipulated so subtly, skepticism doesn't mean hatred, but rather a mature form of love for truth. We're not accusing, but inviting broader thinking. There's nothing wrong with crying because you're touched, but it's also a good idea to dry those tears for a moment and start asking, what's really going on behind the scenes? Is there anyone who benefits from the virality of this confession? Who benefits most from this mass crying? The idol, the agency, or social media itself? And the most crucial question, are we being played by a narrative that is deliberately crafted to capture our attention? Because in the end, it's not just Jungkook's truth that's at stake, but also our integrity as information consumers. Do we choose to be passive viewers who get swept away by the storyline created by others? Or do we become active viewers who not only feel, but also think? We want to convey that the information you have read above comes from various sources, including social platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and other online media. But until now, there has been no official clarification that explicitly confirms or denies the narrative. Therefore, its truth still needs further verification. Let's stay rational amidst the euphoria. We can love, we can celebrate, we can be moved, but never stop asking questions. Because mature love is not just about feelings, but also about honesty and awareness.